Our guest this morning for AM Minnesota is Judy Schultz. Judy is South Central College Dean of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Good morning, Judy.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am fantastic. How about yourself?
I am great.
Now, you're here to talk about a new program that's going on at South Central, right?
Yes, it's a brand new program that we are starting this fall with fall semester, which begins in late August. It's called the Gateway Plan, and it is designed to help students complete their Associate of Arts degrees in 4 semesters at our campus here in Faribault.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. It is a great opportunity for students. If they want to complete it, not take any summer classes, not take any online classes, they can do everything face-to-face right here in Faribault.
And in 4 semesters.
And in 4 semesters, yes. They will be full-time students for those 4 semesters, meaning they're taking 15 or 16 credits a semester. And they'll be working on all their liberal arts courses, what some students refer to as generals.
Right. So do you think a person could do a part-time job and still do this?
Oh, yes. I think usually most of our students are working at least on a part-time basis
Right.
while they're attending college. It's just a matter of having that work-life-school balance.
Yeah, it might be kind of hard to do a full-time job.
True. True.
And
We
do
have
16
students that do
credits.
that, but if you're going to work full-time and go to school full-time and study full-time, you're going to be pretty busy. You're going to have to squeeze in sleep.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. But this is a great opportunity for people to get their, as you say, generals out of the way.
Definitely. One of the things that we see with students, and we hear it all the time, whether it's locally, statewide, or nationally, one of the concerns is about student debt. And sometimes that student debt comes because students wander around a bit, trying to decide what they want to do. If they know already that they want to get a 4-year degree, a bachelor's degree, they can start right here in Faribault and complete their associate's degree, which will transfer directly to any of our state universities in the state of Minnesota.
Well, I have to be honest with you, Judy. I've never thought it was fair that you spend your life at home, and then at the age of 18, generally that's when you graduate, about 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're asked to decide what you want to do with the rest of your life when you've never even broadened your horizons for the most part.
Right, and with the Associate of Arts degree, the idea is that if they're moving on to a university and they plan to get a bachelor's degree, maybe they want to be a leader in a particular field, maybe they want to be a teacher, lots of opportunities there, of course. They can start with their liberal arts courses in this Associate of Arts Gateway Plan, and all of those courses will transfer onto the state universities, as I said.
Now, is this a pilot program at South Central here in Faribault? Because we were chatting before going on the air, and you said this is being offered on the Faribault campus, not North Mankato yet.
Right. At this point, this program started on the Faribault campus because the Faribault faculty created it. They identified faculty and staff, actually. One of the advisors that's working with the program also helped to create it. So they decided that it was a good idea for students to have particular courses that they needed to take and to take the decision making out of the process, really. They identified specific courses and scheduled those courses so students could take them throughout the week. Another advantage of this program is that students will only go to classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So again, that student who might be looking for a job could still work
sure.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So only have to go to school 4 days a week.
4 days a week, that's correct.
Where was this program when I was a kid?
Well, we had a lot more choices and maybe a lot more time when we were younger to not have to work full-time. Some of those pressures weren't on us years ago.
Well, I pretty much worked when I was going to broadcasting school, but that's a whole different animal. Anyway, we're going to visit more with Judy Schultz, the Dean of Liberal Arts and Sciences at South Central College, when AM Minnesota continues. But right now we're going to get that opening market report, a service of your KDHL Agri Boosters. I'll list those Agri Boosters out of the report, and businesses. Speaking of specialization, Judy Schultz is the Dean of Liberal Arts and Sciences at South Central College. Now this would tell me that you're a dean on both the North Mankato and Faribault campus, right?
That's correct. I work on both campuses, and the instructors that I work with are primarily the ones that lead the transferable courses.
Are there big differences between the two campuses?
Faribault is our smaller campus, but certainly we offer the same services at both campuses to our students. When you're on the Faribault campus, there are fewer course choices and fewer programs, but you still have the same type of education.
But in this Gateway program, you're going to get all the courses you need to get your generals out of the way.
That's correct. What we've done is we've designed a program where students take particular courses each semester together. So one of the best practices that's out right now in higher education is learning communities. So the idea of this group of students starting this fall at the Faribault campus and moving through the exact same courses together for 4 semesters, they'll create some wonderful relationships with students and have a support system automatically built in for them.
And to get this done in 4 semesters obviously adds to the lowering cost too.
Definitely. We've, like I said, we have identified the courses that the students need to take in order to meet their Minnesota transfer curriculum, which is part of the AA degree within the state of Minnesota. And we've laid those courses out so students have the opportunity to get together with other like-minded students and pursue that Associate of Arts degree, and in the future their bachelor's degree is usually what students are going for, at least. Some go beyond that.
Sure. So can you share some of the courses with us? Do you have that information there?
Yes, the students will actually be taking courses over these 4 semesters in lots of different areas. They'll be taking art classes, biology classes, communications courses, like the public speaking course or interpersonal communication. They'll be taking English classes like a composition course, which most students take at any institution that you go to. They'll be taking foreign language classes, geography classes, classes in health, classes in history, classes in mathematics. They go on and on, philosophy, psychology, sociology. So you can hear all the liberal arts and the general education components that are coming out within all of those classes.
And those are all required?
They are all required, yes. In order to complete an Associate of Arts degree, you need to complete 60 credits in order to be prepared to transfer and come in as a junior within our state university system.
Well, you just took the words right out of my mouth. My next question was going to be, does this allow me to transfer anywhere in Minnesota?
The agreement that we have, this is called a guided pathway. We called it Gateway Plan, but in the system they talk about guided pathways. And the idea of this degree is to help students complete the first 2 years. Obviously, community colleges are at a lower cost and smaller class size, so those are certainly advantages. But when they transfer on to one of the state universities, they automatically go in as a junior. So they've got their first 2 years. And as you think about the state universities, what we're talking about in our area, there's Minnesota State University in Mankato. But of course, we're fairly close to the cities as well, so you'd be talking about Metropolitan State U. And then there's a number of other state universities as well in the area: Southwest Minnesota State, Winona, St. Cloud State, Bemidji, Minnesota State University, Moorhead. So they're the Minnesota State Universities colleges that they could attend with the first 2 years completed in the Gateway Plan.
So not knowing, I don't have kids, and so I don't know the whole process. It's changed a lot, I'm sure, since I was a kid.
As far as getting into the college?
Well, what I'm thinking here is if you wanted to go to a private school, they usually want their people to be there all 4 years, right? Like a St. Olaf or a Carleton or a St. Thomas or a St. John's.
Well, actually, I think if you look at any institution, if I was looking at an institution outside of the Minnesota state system and thinking about this Gateway Plan, what I would do is reach out to that particular institution and say, these are the courses that I'm looking at taking. And if you meet with our advisor here on the Faribault campus, Elizabeth Prang, she can give you the list of exact courses that you're taking. But if you talk about an Associate of Arts degree, most colleges, I can't speak for all of them, but certainly get in touch with that institution that you're looking at and say that you're doing this Associate of Arts degree at the South Central College and you're wondering if it will transfer on. It's pretty rare that they don't accept the courses because they are liberal arts.
Plus they want your tuition.
Definitely. It's certainly about saving students money. Again, I think one of the great advantages of community colleges, including South Central College, is small class sizes. If you went from or if you decided to go to Mankato State, to Minnesota State University Mankato, your liberal arts courses might be students, you might have 100 or 200 students in your classes. At South Central College, those classes are no more than 40 students. So there's a big difference. We definitely know our students and give them the support that they need to succeed.
Yeah. Well, I guess common sense would tell you the lower the number, probably the more hands-on instruction you get.
Definitely, definitely. When you're in a smaller campus, you have the opportunity to really get to know your instructors, and they get to know the students too. So it's a wonderful relationship. You also get to know the students in your classes a lot better when you're in with 40 rather than with 200. So we definitely try to help our students in every way to succeed and to decide what they want to be when they grow up. Although we know that they're already adults, they're still, like you said, making decisions about what they want to do when they finish a career and what degree they want to go into.
Well, it sounds like this is really the way to go because you save money, you get your generals out of the way, so that you get a little more time to decide exactly what you want to pursue in terms of a career.
Right, right. And it's, again, one of the advantages, or actually two of the advantages are it's a very streamlined course schedule, takes the decision making out of it. Students are told these are the courses you need to take. We guarantee they're going to be here on our Faribault campus. We guarantee they're going to be face-to-face. You don't have to do anything online. And that idea of that learning community of students who start to get to know each other and start to really care that each one of them succeed within that group.
Now, when you mentioned just now they don't have to take any courses online, I'm thinking this generation might like taking courses online. I mean, they're used to being on their computers all the time, right?
Yeah, and there are advantages and disadvantages to online courses. Online courses, our earlier conversation, online courses are wonderful things for students to be able to take, but it takes a particular kind of students to take those classes. Students that might lack self-discipline, maybe they think that taking an online class is easy because they don't have to go to school and they don't have to commute. But actually, online classes, although they're the same thing as you would take face-to-face, but what you have to remember is that you have to sit down in front of your computer and do whatever the instructors asked you to do, whether that's reading you need to do, or a presentation you need to create, or a discussion you need to post, or a paper you need to write. So for some students, it's challenging to do online courses. On the other hand, there's also students that have that self-discipline and that drive and self-motivation to complete those courses. But within this Gateway plan, like I mentioned, there aren't any online courses. It's all face-to-face.
Yeah, there are some universities and places that offer online completely to get degrees, right?
That's correct. And I have to say right now that South Central does not offer a degree completely online, but there are certainly courses that we offer online, whether they're liberal arts classes or in some of our career and technical education programs as well.
Do you think that'll change?
Do I think it'll change as far as completing a degree? We're having discussions about that. We want to make sure that we're not just putting classes out online that aren't quality. We're not going to just throw a class up there because it's something that students want. We want instructors that are interested in creating that course and then being a part of that course as they work with students online too.
Because when this was first starting to pop up, I got to thinking, you know, just think how much money you could save in terms of buildings and upkeep, maintenance of buildings, if you had online courses.
What you have to keep in mind when you have online courses is, although it isn't bricks and mortar like the Faribault campus that you actually go to physically, there are a lot of expenses associated with it too. You still have the instructors that are constantly monitoring those courses and working with students. You also have to have the IT infrastructure behind it to support those students, because you still want them to have tutoring access, and if they have trouble with their computers or something like that, to have people that can help them troubleshoot those issues.
Yeah, you don't want people to hack into it.
Yeah, definitely. There's security concerns with computers always.
So that part I understand, but I don't know, it just seems to me 50 years from now, of course I won't be around, but things will be a lot different, don't you think?
It could be. I think there will always be a place for face-to-face classes. One of the advantage of this Gateway plan is that, like I mentioned, they get to know the students personally. And for lots of students, they need that personal touch. They'd rather be talking to somebody face-to-face if they have questions. They'd rather be having interaction with students face-to-face and having a face-to-face discussion. Rather than being in front of a computer with online courses.
Yeah.
It just takes particular kinds of students to do both of those options, and that's why we've got both of them available at the course level.
The whole idea is to learn here.
Definitely. And to help those students complete their associate's degree in the 4 semesters that they need, and all face-to-face and all right here on the Faribault campus.
Isn't that something? So if people want more information about this, I assume they contact South Central.
Yes, you can stop in at our South Central campus here in Faribault, or you can contact Elizabeth Prang. Her telephone number, just in case you need it, is 507-332-5800. Elizabeth is one of our advisors, and she's one of the creators of the Gateway Plan.
Awesome. So again, Judy Schultz, South Central College Dean of Liberal Arts and Sciences, our guest today on AM Minnesota. Faribault Fire Chief Dusty Dienst joins us on Monday. They need firefighters. They're looking for some part-timers. They haven't been able to fill a couple of positions. So Dusty contacted me here a week or so ago and said, hey, I'd like to come on to a segment on AM Minnesota about what it's like to be a firefighter. So we're going to do that. Tuesday, we have our weekly visit with the Rice County Fair Secretary John Dvorak about the upcoming fair. Wednesday, we had the Professional Pride Realty in Northfield, our chamber-related show. The 4th of July is coming up in North Morristown. We'll learn more about that next Thursday. Their 4th of July picnic that they have there every year. Friday, we were talking about doing a show from the Cannon Valley Fair. That's actually been changed. We're going to do that next Saturday at 10 in the morning, a show from the Cannon Valley Fair, which begins on Sunday the 1st and runs through the 4th on Wednesday. So that's coming up next Saturday. So a lot of very informative shows. Hope a lot of folks can take it in. Before I continue our conversation with Judy, I wanted to plug Merlin Players doing their 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Final performances are this weekend. 7:30 tonight. 7:30 tomorrow night, and then a Sunday afternoon matinee at 2. The Merlin Players presentation of the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Do you get a chance to take this in yet, Judy?
I haven't. I'm sure it would be wonderful, though.
Yeah, well, education, spelling, kind of coincides. Paradise Center for the Arts, you can go online and get your tickets now, too, right now. If you're sitting in your PJs or anything, you can go right online, isn't that awesome, and get your tickets. So can people register for this online too, Judy, or how does that work?
What we'd like students to do that are interested in the Gateway Plan is to reach out to Elizabeth Prang, our advisor there on the Faribault campus. She's the one that'll walk them through the registration. They do need to work directly with an advisor to register for the classes. What we have done with this program is we have blocked a certain number of seats to guarantee that the students will have the courses that are within the program.
You must have a deadline for this.
We start classes on the 27th of August. Students can register for the program up until then, but I'd certainly encourage them to consider the program now and reach out to Elizabeth to learn more about it. And of course, when you're attending college, one of the things that you need to do, or most students need to do, is to apply for financial aid. So if you are looking at attending college, reach out to Elizabeth on our Faribault campus. Ask her about the Gateway Plan, learn more about it, and hopefully you'll be one of the Gateway students this fall.
Yes. Books. People need to purchase books.
Yes. As you work with our campus, they'll walk you right through the process. If you're a brand new student at South Central College, there's an admission process that you can go through. You can do that online. Part of what students do as well in order to attend the college is there's also an AccuPlacer test that they take that tests students' abilities in reading, English, and math, those foundational skills that they need to succeed in classes. And then they work with an advisor to identify the courses, or in this situation, if they find that they are college ready, they're ready to work with Elizabeth and talk about the Gateway Plan.
So you don't get any choice. These courses are these courses, that's how you get your degree.
That's correct. What we want students to do in the Gateway Plan is we want them to take courses that our group of faculty and administrators and staff have identified each semester. And as they move through these courses, they complete the requirements for that Associate of Arts degree.
And again, once they're done, after the 4 semesters.
Right. Once they have completed the 4 semesters, these again are students who are looking at completing an Associate of Arts degree and planning on going on to get a bachelor's degree at a 4-year institution. So once they have completed their Associate of Arts degree, they'll be moving on to the university of their choice within the state of Minnesota.
And hopefully it's seamless.
It should be. If they're working within our Minnesota state system, it definitely will be. If they're working outside the Minnesota state system, that private college that you mentioned, or maybe they've
Sure.
decided they want to transfer to somewhere in another state, then as they start that particular decision, they need to be working with that college to make sure that the courses will transfer. They're guaranteed to transfer between the 2-year colleges and the 4-year state universities within the state of Minnesota.
Part of the state system.
That's correct.
Do you envision this happening on all of our community college campuses?
If you look nationally and you listen nationally, one of the things that's happening because of the concern about student debt are the guided pathways. They're happening everywhere. In the Minnesota state system, over the past few years, Minnesota State has created over 30 guided pathways. The one guided pathway they didn't create was an Associate of Arts degree, because there's so many different opportunities across all of our campuses. So our campus, South Central College, looked at this as an opportunity to help students identify courses, because sometimes it can get overwhelming when you come in and you're looking at an Associate of Arts degree because there's so many choices.
Right.
So we've made those choices for them and helped lay out the path that they can follow to complete their courses and succeed at the 2-year college level.
And the neat thing is, if you live in the Faribault area, you can still live at home,
Definitely.
and that takes a lot of cost out of it too.
Definitely. When you think about moving away, I know it's a temptation for the students that are out there that are just out of high school and would like to move out from mom and dad's roof, but boy, kids, you are saving a lot of money staying at home with mom and dad to complete that Associate of Arts degree. So yes, one of the advantages of the South Central College here in the Faribault community is that it's right here. Maybe it's right down your street. Think about the money that you can save on gas and on mileage, and still have the opportunity to have a job locally and attend college full-time as well.
Yeah, right. Or maybe you live in Kenyon or Waterville or
Definitely.
Montgomery.
Definitely. Students that are anywhere, we are drawing students from a 9-county area within the state of Minnesota. That's where the majority of our students come. So come on to South Central College and Faribault campus and ask about the Gateway Plan. Elizabeth would love to tell you about it.
So I'm guessing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Judy, I've been known to be wrong many times in my life, but I'm guessing that you didn't have a ton of people involved in this program for the very reasons that you stipulated earlier.
What do you mean by that?
About being able to get enough credits to move on. You know, you didn't have this Gateway program before.
Right. We still offered Associate of Arts classes, but what our students were asking for is to not have to take online courses, to
Right.
not have to take hybrid that are partially online and partially face-to-face, and to have an easier pathway, an easier identification of the courses that they needed to take to complete the associate's degree. So that's what the Gateway Plan does. It gets them face-to-face, it gets them specific courses that they need to take, it gets them set up for times, it gets them directly connected to a particular group of students, the ones that have chosen this Gateway Plan that have similar goals in mind.
Has there been a lot of interest in this yet?
There has been. Our classes have always been great draws here in Faribault and in North Mankato, but we've got a lot of students that are interested in looking at how can I get a degree as quickly as possible, don't have to take any summers, don't have to take night classes, how can I do it?
That's really something. No summer,
Right?
no
sum-
night classes,
Right.
4 semesters
4 semesters. They're taking 15 to 16 credits a semester.
to complete 2 years worth.
Yes, that's correct. Again, keep in mind that the students that will be in this program need to be college ready. So if you happen to be a student that needs a little bit of brush up in English or reading or math, you could still be a Gateway student somewhere in your future, but you need to complete those prerequisite courses first.
What kind of math are we talking here?
In this particular program, the students will be taking a statistics course, which is a transferable course. So if they were students who weren't college ready, we take students that need beginning algebra and help them build up those skills.
So I'd need some of that.
Definitely. You need some basic skills, and that AccuPlacer test that I talked about earlier helps us identify where students are at and helps us identify the courses that they need to take at South Central College, whether they're prepared for the statistics course or whether they need a little bit of brush up before they get to that.
All right. And you're able to help them in all those areas.
Definitely. Whether they are college ready or whether they need a little bit of brush up, South Central is definitely here to help them succeed.
So again, who do we contact?
The contact for the Gateway Plan for the Associate of Arts degree is Elizabeth Prang, and she is at 507-332-5800 here on our Faribault campus. We hope to hear from lots of students that are interested in taking advantage of this opportunity.
Well, it's somewhat of a no-brainer in my mind.
Definitely a savings for students, definitely an opportunity to get to be involved in a learning community.
The savings obviously depends on where you were planning on going to school, but it is significant no matter where you're thinking about going.
Oh yes, definitely the two-year colleges, South Central College is a great value for students to consider. If you were going on to a university, you'd be paying far more, truthfully, for the same classes with definitely very gifted, credentialed faculty that are experts in their field.
And again, the smaller class sizes are another benefit of doing this route.
Right. I can remember when I went to a university in my junior and senior year, it was a shock to be in a class of 200 students. I started at a community college, and I was really glad that I did. 30 or 40 students, that's not such a big deal. That's kind of like the size of your high school classes. Right. So you're used to that, but it's a definite advantage to get to know your instructors, to get to have access easily to support services that you need for those classes.
Well, I know I went, some of my friends in high school went to the University of Minnesota and talk about, I went from Little Spring Valley, Minnesota, so they went from Little Spring Valley, Minnesota up to the U of M with, over 50,000 people on the campus and class sizes of much, much larger.
Hundreds, definitely. There are students that are destined for University of Minnesota type classes, but I know, and I think at least, that students should be looking at their pocketbook, whether it's their pocketbook or mom and dad's. If you can get the same type of courses at a community college like South Central College, you can save yourself a lot of money, and there are definite advantages to being in courses that are smaller to give you that great foundation to be able to transfer on.
Thanks, Judy. That concludes today's edition of AM Minnesota on KDHO AM in Faribault, Minnesota.